that's leading to? Is that actually going to happen? Or is this part of the theater that we're watching? Okay, so they're presenting this. And the idea is, and of course it does look like everything that happened in the past and all the land recognition, etc., was put in place to lead here, okay, to present us with or get to this place of, okay, it looks like they're going to be able to take our land. Okay, which of course would really anger a lot of people, obviously, right? Okay, but actually what happens is real truth comes out. Okay, so the real truth of the government, what the government had planned. I don't get it leads to actual losing your property. I feel like it's meant to wake up the sleepers and get them looking at their government and looking at even their justice system. That was the Supreme Court of Canada that ruled that absurd ruling. Okay. And it feels like they really just needed people to get their head out of their asses and really look around, maybe get some boundaries, get some backbone here in Canada. We needed to do that and step up for our true rights. Our true land rights. Like, we need to fight this back. We need to actually contest it in court. People that these are directly affecting, they need to actually go back and fight that in court, because it is absurd. Okay, but they're presenting it. It feels like it's a white hat operation at this point. So even if it started out as the deep state's plan, one of the plans to take land from you. Okay, that's very likely what it started out as. I feel like it's now the white hats are in charge of it, and it looks like they're trying to see what you're going to do. So they're like, what's the regular folks going to do about this? And it does tend to lead to a lot more truth coming out about our governments, what they're capable of. Yeah. So a lot of secrets get revealed through this. And even though it's a gut punch, no, you don't lose your land in the long run. But I feel like it's meant to really get people up in arms and get them thinking about what their government's capable of, and what a bunch of absolutely not for the people government we have. You know, like people like my dad, they think the government's good. You know what I mean? My dad thinks the government's good. And he's like, was brought up, his family are directly Indigenous, and he actually believes the government's good. Can you imagine? Anyway. All right, so that's fascinating, but it doesn't look like it leads to you losing your house in Canada here. Okay, was the measles illness, and I'm not going to call it a virus because I don't think I believe in viruses. Was the measles illness created in a lab? Okay, so the thing they call the measles. And of course, you know, the measles, I mean, they used it. So they used it to wipe out Indigenous peoples all over the world. Okay, but in particular, we hear about it here in North America because they used the disease, you know, even gave diseased blankets or infected blankets to, this is the story. Now, we don't know if these stories are true anymore. I'm not sure about it, but we do know that there was thousands and thousands of, for instance, here on Haida Gwaii, we'll just use that as an example, and like 10,000 plus, and lots of tribes and villages. And in, you know, first contact years, maybe 250 years ago, it went down to about 800. Okay, so, and it was mostly diseases. So they brought all of these diseases, but were the diseases in fact created just for the purpose of wiping out Indigenous peoples all over the world? And in particular, we're asking about measles. So was the measles invented in a lab to do the dirty work for these governments, so they didn't in fact have to shoot them all? They could just kill them that way. And wow, is it effective too? So is that what was going on there? Wheel of Fortune there. 5, 6, 7, 8. Soft yes in the middle. I had to pull that one to know if that Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune flips everything around. And the soft yes is in the middle, which is what they want you to, like, they're okay with you believing that. Or a lot of people believe that. So a lot of people seem to think that they created the measles in a lab. Well, that is fascinating. Certainly in this community, we think that way. I bet a lot. I don't trust anything. I think they created everything. And this card here does talk about building something or making something, creating something, doing something. So they work towards it. I think it is a yes. I think it is trying to say, yes, they did. Okay. And actually it didn't work as well as they wanted it to, which is interesting. Okay. That's interesting. So it didn't even work as well. So I guess they wanted to wipe every one of them off. Okay. But it didn't work as well as they wanted it to. Interesting. So people probably created herd immunity quicker than they wanted that to happen. Now we've got the Hierophant here. Okay. So the near future, I feel like this will come out that they did. I think it's a yes. I think they did create it in a lab. And some people, they have the information, and I feel like they'll even be like, this could be part of disclosure. This looks like it's part of disclosure, and people will be called to justice, or at least groups could be called to justice over it. Maybe the people are long gone. Okay. But they're going to call maybe groups or governments to account. Somehow this will get called to account. And in the coming years, when I think really we're going to have tribunals for a really long time. So I'm going to go with a yes on this. It was a little complicated looking, but this one really moves it to a yes for me, because they worked on it. It didn't work as well as they wanted. This one threw me, but then it feels like, I think we got a yes here. I think we got a yes. And the Wheel of Fortune says, but things didn't maybe go according to plan. So I feel like, yeah, it didn't go like they wanted to kill everybody with it. Wow. So that's a yes on that. Now, remember the 5th of November. You guys remember that saying? So I got this idea from Brenda and Martin Brodell. So Brenda, we text back and forth. I really, really like her. I'd love to meet her in person. And her and her partner, Martin, are traveling. So I'm wishing them and sending them safe ravens on their travel. Okay, so happy trails and safe trails on your travels. But she brought this up, and there was a movie. Let's watch the movie trailer and we'll get a real idea about what the movie was about, which I think is full of comms. Let's have a look.
I wish I wasn't afraid all the time, but I am.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
Wow. What a excuse me. What a saying. People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of the people, which is totally true. We got it all ass backwards, you guys. We got completely conned. Okay, so we got to get back there. Now, this guy in the movie, of course, he is, quite the character, and basically goes on his own vendetta rampage. And yeah, V for Vendetta, that's why it's called that. Now, do you remember Melania wearing a hat like that. Do you remember that? Yeah. And a lot of people said she was signaling, and she's worn it a few times. She was signaling this movie. Okay. And even the V on her neck, we've got a V looking sort of neck scarf there. She was signaling it for sure. Okay. So we're coming right up to November 5th. And in the movie, if I remember correctly, I'm going to have to go back and watch it. It's a good one to rewatch. But I think this guy blows up all of these. I think he literally blows up parliament buildings and officialdom buildings and government people's individual homes. And yeah, I think he just blows it all up. And that's the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November, right? So I think that's how he gets his revenge. He ends up blowing up all of these places. But is something going to happen? Here's the question, and here's what Brenda put forward. Is something going to happen on November 5th that we need to pay attention to, because it's coming right up? We're 2 days away. Let's have a look. Interesting. Well, we've got the moon there, and we've got this. We're having a look at something from a safe distance. So we're having a look at something from a safe distance, or something safe, but it appears dead. Okay. And or it appears like this is like can be a deep fake card. There could be a fake to death that day, but in fact, the person they're claiming is dead or died is in fact safe. Interesting. That's one way you could read that. Also, there could be an event that involves death that's faked or falsified, because you keep going back to this one first, which is safe but looks bad. Something, I think we got some kind of a psyop that day that appears one way, but it isn't. And it could even be earth related, or what it appears. So the devastation is coming from maybe an earth event. Okay, that's a way you could read that, because the Empress, or it involves a really powerful woman. Another way you could read that. The Empress could also be Mother Earth herself. And now we've got, it leads to truth. So some kind of an event, and it could even be somewhere other than North America. So it doesn't look like it's actually in the US. That card tells us it could be somewhere different. Yeah, so somewhere an event happens that appears to be, so it looks like the world will see it. It appears to, the death is around it, or it signals like a lot of people dying. It appears that way, but I feel like it's a theater. And here we've got the Queen of Wands, but it leads to truth, or the truth comes out about a falsified event. It's another way you could read that. Lots of ways you could read that. The universe doesn't want to be really nail this one down, but I think we got to watch that date, because something's going to go on, and it has something to do with something appearing a certain way, and not in a good way. It appears really bad, but it in fact is nothing like it appears. So there's going to be some kind of false flags, one thing you could say, or you could say literally a psyop. False flag, the difference there is someone gets blamed for it. Like the thing actually happens and someone gets blamed for it, but in fact didn't do it. So the wrong party is blamed for it in the public. And the psyops are literally riddled in fakery, like what happened with Charlie Kirk. in my opinion. That whole thing was fake. Okay, so here we've got the Ace of Swords there. Yeah, it does look like whatever it is, it's temporarily really upsets people. The news, so the official news of something comes out, and it's what you need to remember is remember, don't believe the news, really look past what they're saying. Okay, look past the narrative. Okay, so something's going to get out there and it looks like a big psyop, but we see those every day. So we're seeing psyops every day. So yeah, nothing too new there. Nothing too new. Okay, what else do we have? Heidi Glum. What a name, eh? Heidi Glum. So every year she puts on a new Halloween costume, okay, and they get more horrific. And this one, a lot of people are wondering if this is in fact a nod to her true looks and or actual reptilians that look like this. Okay, so is this really what she actually looks like? Or did she in fact spend hours and hours and hours getting costumed up like this? Because this would take a lot of people working on her and hours and hours. My goodness. Okay, so let's have a look. Is this really her? Did she just take off her, because they do this, what do I call it? What do you call it there? It's like they use some kind of vibration to appear like regular folks, like humans. And actually, when the vibrational energy kind of gets taxed or doesn't work anymore, you start to see their real looks. Okay, is this really what's going on with Heidi here? Is she actually a reptile and we just saw her real face? Or is this in fact a great costume? Interesting. Part of that, so we got a half and half here, which is interesting because I thought the bottom half doesn't really look like it looked like a person wearing it, but her face looked real. That's the part everyone was saying. I got a feeling we got a half and half here. I think that face was real. I think part of it, she might have added things. So she might have added the snakes on her hair or head. She might have added that to look more like Medusa, but I think the actual scales and the face, the eyes and the tongue are hers. I think it's real, but not all of it. So I think they added some things, subtracted some things, but left her. Yeah, I think that's her real face. I think that's her real face. And one day, so we're halfway there, she won't even be able to hide anymore. I feel like that was likely, like she's probably in Gitmo herself anyway, and that was somebody showing you what her real face looks like, because I don't think that's really her anyway, right? She's a big high witch in the the dark cult. I feel like we had at least half of that was her, but the other half wasn't. So they're starting to unravel the secrets for us. Wow. And that was a great question, by the way. I hadn't even thought of that. And then I went and looked her up and I was like, oh my goodness. I looked up the costume this year and yeah, the face right away really looked real. Okay, so the recent election in the Netherlands. So some people on the channel, a couple of different people were wondering. So in the Netherlands, I don't know if they're considered far right. Let us know, because nobody sort of, they didn't really tell me much about it. I would have to go read all the news from here. And honestly, I have a hard time keeping up with all the news from all over the world. Okay, but their name is weird. Party D66 wins the election. Okay, so is this, and a lot of people were saying in the comments that it was suspicious. There was a lot of suspicious activity. This guy's really young to be winning an election. He's like, 38 or something? He looks like in his early 30s to me. Let's have a look at, was this a rigged election? And what going forward can the Netherlands expect from this government? Okay, so that guy looks like he's, he's controlled by the white hats. Okay, so, he's meant to. He's going to continue the wake-up call. So this was rigged. This was rigged, and the White Hat Alliance rigged it. How do you like that, guys? This is going to move us towards a better things happening in the Netherlands. This whole election was a psyop. Okay, and this guy is actually part of the White Hat Alliance, even though maybe his background, like they're just using his brand. Let's say it like that. They're using his brand. Him particularly might not be a good guy, but they're using the visuals of him. They might have a double in place, or they've twisted his arm to be part of this. Or he came over to the good guys. I don't know, because that'll take a whole nother read, which we're not going to do right now. But I'm going to tell you, this is all White Hat Alliance controlled, and it's moving towards events. And this card's like big reveals and events, and could even be something to do with other dimensionals, alien presence, something like maybe the big alien invasion somehow takes us out of the fakery going on here. So some kind of events are going to move us out of here and wake up the masses. So I think we're still looking at EBS, lockdowns, all of that kind of stuff. That we've been waiting for years. I'm hoping that comes before Christmas. Sure feels like it's on its way anyway. So, but dates are so hard to, claiming dates is really tough. All right, let's have a look at one last question I had. When will the U.S. government reopen? Okay, so the Democrats closed down the government, okay, and Trump just carried on. In fact, Trump was happy about it. It was like they played right into what Trump wanted. But I think these guys are all controlled by Trump and the White Hats anyway, you guys, right? So all of that's just theater. I think they're all part of this big theater. Okay, but people want to know, when will they, or will they ever reopen? Maybe Trump's going to take advantage of this, and things will start happening and you'll never see those fools again. Or they're going to open up sometime before Christmas. Let's have a look. What's going to happen? When I first looked at this, I got they wouldn't be closed this long. I got they're not going to be closed that long. But what does the universe mean by that long? It didn't look very long. Okay, but to some people, it's been quite a few. It's been over 30 days. Interesting, done in 30. So what did they get done in 30? They were doing a lot of things in that 30 days, but it's past 30 days now. Okay, so we've got, lots of hidden things being done while they're closed down. Lots of things. It's definitely created a lot of, it's almost like more truth and integrity are going to be available to the American people because of them being out, like them being closed down. Okay, so I think a little while longer here, we've got the 5 of Pentacles, which is setbacks. I think they were going to be, I don't think they got done in 30. It's kind of how it looks like. Like, I feel like they have to take a little more time. That's the White Hat Alliance with whatever plan they were doing in the background. Okay, so I feel like they've stretched it out a little. So I think they've got another, that could be 5 days. It could be 5 weeks. I hope it's days. Weeks would take us, right into December. Okay, so here we've got the Knight of Pentacles. And they're doing things and they're being really careful with it. But I feel like they do seem to come back. but they'll never be the same. Or right after they get back, the whole world takes a turn and changes. Okay, so they're never going to be the same again. They're never going to have any of the powers they had before. They're never going to be able to mess with the people the way they did before. Like, I feel like these guys been stripped of all of any kind of power, even to annoy you, that they had. Okay, because a lot of it was a big theater, but it was an annoying theater. Okay, I feel like when they do come back, they're nothing like they were. So maybe they behave differently, or they just have no powers when they come back. That's what it looks like. So even when they do, and it does look like they will come back, and maybe in 5, that could be days, that could be weeks, but I feel like they have absolutely, they're nothing like they were before. Okay, they got no oomph whatsoever. So they've been stripped of any kind of power or legitimacy. Yeah, somehow. Wow, fascinating. Okay, thanks everybody.
Yeah, can't sleep. And, dreams that make no sense to me. Okay, see, I'm not the only one. Like these weird ass dreams. Like, where does that come from? Huh? Second to okay, yeah.
This looks more like information.
Yeah.
I feel like information drops. Maybe the dreams are trying to portray something, and maybe it's alien to you for now.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not used to it, or the people that are talking about it in the chat, that they're having weird dreams. I wonder if it's because this card here says maybe we're going to be learning a whole nother way to communicate. This card here is like a brand new start on something and communication with the sword. So a new and just at the beginning of something new. And this is advice. So pay attention and maybe document, even if they don't make sense to your, because whatever it is, it feels like there might be messages coming from, somewhere else. So it's not necessarily your higher self or your own psyche talking to you, which is why you don't recognize them. You could be getting messages from some other energies.
Point to the cards. What do you mean by that? Where is that coming from?
See there?
Yeah.
Page of Swords. So a brand new way to communicate, just the start of something new in communication. And this card here is like looking out at. So you're safe. So I don't think you're unsafe receiving it. So that's good to note. Okay, but it's coming from maybe off world. See how this person's got the world in their hands, but they're looking out in the distance. So it's coming from a distance to our world. I think we're getting messages. I think maybe we're getting influenced or messages, but I'm not getting it as bad for us per se, not from what I'm getting here anyway.
Do you remember, is it 2 months ago now? I did the show with Penny Kelly and then with Jay Widener on psychedelics. And we were talking about how the evolutionary mind conversation of Rupert Sheldrake and Terence McKenna had brought up the fact or the proposition that humans' ability to communicate had changed dramatically to having voice and speech and written notes after they had consumed mushroom, and they were putting that somewhere around 40 or 50,000 years ago. That was their opinion. If you go listen to that 3-hour-long trialogue. And in that same vein, in the conversation with Penny Kelly and Jay Widener, we're talking about the fact that maybe now humans are on the verge of this big next new step of communication, and that has something to do with either telepathy and or also the geometry of telepathy. Again, as described by Terence McKenna, and you guys can go watch that interview I did with Jay Widener. We were talking about that. So do clarifiers on here. Is this just some random thing that's happening where there's another force trying to communicate with us? Maybe as you suggest, that it's coming off world, or is it part of a huge evolutionary leap for mankind? That we're all going through this and we're about to move to a higher, more complex and more evolved form of communications ourselves. And we're just at the beginning steps of that right now for humanity.
I'm having trouble hearing what you're saying because you keep cutting out.
Oh, my connection looks stable tonight. Maybe it's on your side, Janine. Let us know in the live chat if you're getting if it's cutting out. Do you want me to repeat the question, Janine?
Yeah, I only hear every second word you say.
Speaking of a new way of communication, Janine and I can't communicate. See, we're getting 5x5s. Oh, JC's good. Okay.
See, now you're good. Now you're
Okay.
good.
I think it's your connection. Everybody's hearing me fine. So
Okay.
you're not hearing me for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird. Okay. Did I lose the slide deck? It looks black. Or put a card down? Okay, you're still there. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I was asking you to do clarifiers, but let's do another poll. So my question is humanity on the verge of jumping forward in a big way in our communication skills, similar to what Rupert Sheldrake and Terence McKenna were suggesting happened 40,000 years ago when we developed suddenly our voice box and we were able to speak to each other. Are we at that next level now, or just on the cutting edge of that next level? Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a big old yes.
You want to stop there?
Well, I'll keep looking. So yes, absolutely. Like now we've got a major arcana. I think we're thresholding, right? Because this is the end of something and the beginning of something brand new. So we're on a whole new threshold in communication. Yep. Wow. And this is a woo card. So a lot of us could even communicate on a deeper, more intuitive level. I think it's already happening, frankly. And some people will find it a little unnerving, you know, if they're not used to communicating on that level, like sort of regular folks that maybe don't think in the way we've been talking and thinking, this audience.
Yeah.
Okay. They might find it a little difficult to navigate, but we're going to celebrate. So the advice is celebrate this threshold. And it's been a long time coming.
Wow. Oh, okay. A few people in the chat are asking, what are you guys talking about? Okay. I created a page for this because Sarah keeps getting emails on that particular show to find the source material for the conversation I was having with Jay Winder and Penny Kelly. So let me put the link down in the live chat. Where am I going? This one here. So beyondmystic.net/DMT is the link you guys are looking for. Let me bring that up on the screen for you guys. There you go. And let me just bring Janine up here so we can see her. Hold on. There you go. Okay. So back to that page, you'll find the original episode with Jay Widener and myself. And then I have 4 or 5 videos. Most of them are Terence McKenna. And I think one of them is that trialogue video with Rupert Sheldrake. So these are all like 15, 14-minute clips each. Like they're the most important parts of those conversations we're having. So it's all there, including the mechanical elves. So fascinating stuff. If you haven't seen those episodes, go here. You'll find everything you need. beyondmystic.net/DMT. And in there, of course, they're talking about this new world of communication for humanity and how the evolutionary mind trialogue seems to be reoccurring right now, or that we're at this cusp of it. And Janine seems to be saying yes there with the card. So fascinating time indeed. Okay. All right. Well, that was woo enough to begin with. Holy crap, Janine. Now, what's even more woo, President Trump in the last day or two here is going on and on about healthcare. First, about what appears to be med beds, and now also about cannabis oil. So weird stuff there. Let me change the slide deck because we're gonna listen to what he said, parse the words, and then have you pull on these technologies and whether or not he's calming here that the pharmaceutical company and the medical system as we know it is about to end here. I think that's what he's calming, but and granted, that first video about the med beds is AI generated. Nonetheless, Trump did post it. So let's go look at this together here. If you guys haven't seen this, we'll start with this one here. Hold on. make sure that's the right one. Yeah. Okay. So let's go here. President Trump posted this video. It appears to be AI generated. Of course it is, but I confirm it on his official page on Truth Social. Yes, it was. So that's Julie Donuts. But anyways, you guys can find that video. Let's play that clip now.
Trump has announced a historic new healthcare system, the launch of America's first medbed hospitals and a national medbed card for every citizen.
Every American will soon receive their own medbed card. With it, you'll have guaranteed access to our new hospitals led by the top doctors in the nation, equipped with the most advanced technology in the world. These facilities are safe, modern, and designed to restore every citizen to full health and strength. This is the beginning of a new era in American healthcare.
In this first phase, only a limited number of medbed cards will be released. Registration details will be announced very soon.
Okay, so AI generated, guys. This is not real news. Nevertheless, Trump did post it on his Truth Social, signaling something here. Janine, your first thoughts before you pull the cards. What the hell is he talking about?
I thought it was signaling something, and also wasn't it pulled down? Went up, and then
I'm not sure. There was conflicting news, and then everybody was reposting it anyways. Nevertheless, we often look at these AI videos. They're often used to communicate something as opposed to the real people communicating stuff. So that's why we're looking at it tonight. But again, for the audience members, yes, Janine and I are aware this is a fake video. Nonetheless, Janine, let's do a pull on what the comm is here. Let's do that first, overarching pull, and see what we can glean from this. What's going on? Yeah, some people are saying, yeah, it's just a psyop. Sure. Just another distraction. Oh my God! Like if we need more distractions, everything's going batshit crazy. Who knows? Let's see, Janine. Let's do that first poll. I have a few supplemental for you, but I don't want to lead you in too much. Let's just see what you get on that first draw.
interesting. Both of these cards are not, or that's a 10 and that's a 9. So it's like the end of something. So certainly, and this is even a difficult ending. So sounds like the end of Medicare or sorry, not pharmaceutical companies, like you said.
Yeah.
And see that 7? It's definitely a message of some kind inside the message, because the 7 of Swords is swords are thoughts and words, and that's a manipulating thought and word or strategically placing thoughts and words out there. So they've strategically chose that. Okay. So none of this looks like it's direct information. Like and I'm not saying they might have some really cool technology coming out, but these cards are not saying, yeah, they're directly communicating a truth to you. Okay. So just to be clear. Now this is this is interesting. So this is what they're getting from the general population. Hope, heart chakra, something about the heart, opening people's hearts or giving people hope, maybe. And this is people that aren't watching videos like this and didn't go straight to, oh, it's a comm.
Yep.
I wonder if they're saying there's hope past, because it is dreary out there. Like if you weren't watching videos like this and you didn't believe there was something going on under the surface of everything, it looks like we're going straight into communism, everybody. We're going to be digitally ID'd, live in 15-minute cities, and our healthcare is trying to kill us. Like that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it might have been to lift spirits somewhat too and give people something to look forward to. And they're using a creative way to do it. Okay, now this is interesting because it leads to this. So bedeviling, something bedeviling. Okay, let's look around at now the public goes from hope to now they're bedeviled. I wonder if they're bedeviled because they start looking into, I don't know, what our medical system's been doing. Like, I don't know. Or maybe they feel bedeviled by it. This doesn't transpire into exactly what it's saying it does. Okay, but let's keep looking. Okay.
And just by the way, I'm scanning Trump's Truth Social here on another feed, and I don't see the video, and I don't see the one about CBD either. So either he's taken him down, or the reports that he had put him up in the first place are wrong. At any rate, that's not
Oh,
what Janine
maybe
and I are
that's
both
what we should ask, because all of these, like there's a strategy, but none of them are saying they put it up.
right.
We didn't ask that. And all of them could be actually, they didn't put it up because now the outcome is the devil be
Mhm.
devils. Okay. So people are kind of grumpy because what he's saying, it gave them hope, but it doesn't come true. Okay. Now we've got the page of swords, because this is gossip and innuendo. And then this is the Queen of Swords. I wonder if somebody hijacked the, or made it look like he put those up.
Could be. Could be.
Why don't we ask, like, if did Trump's gang put these up?
I really don't care. Not that I don't care, but you know what I mean? What I really want to get at here is, if it is a comm, it seems that it's a comm, right? Are we comming that we're going in that direction? You have the 9 and the 10 suggesting that something's coming to an ending, or pharmaceutical business and the way we treat people is coming to an end. But we have to go back to, in the last, I have to say, Janine, and you can remind me if I'm wrong, maybe 4 or 5 years now, we've pulled on these med beds. And every single time we had audience members saying, oh, yeah, it's right here. It's around the corner. There's an 800 number. And so-and-so has a test this weekend. And so, anyways, it's been like that for 5 years. And every time you pull the cards on it, you're like, nope, don't hold your breath. Not coming anytime soon. Yeah. And people are so angry at you for saying that. And here we are 5 years later. They're still not around the corner, and you can't go test the med bed anywhere. Now, we do have this comm here today. And the question is, okay, are we now, maybe 5 years later, starting on that route to where this might become reality for us? I think that's what most people want to know. But we can also ask about whether Trump put it out or not. But it's really inconsequential. What they want to know is, do we have med beds coming? Yes or no?
Well, not for a while. Again, that 4 of like that. So that's holding on to something, or something's being held on to, or like that's definitely not a going full guns forward. No. There's none of that. We'd need to see the 4 of Wands or some wand.
Chariot.
The chariot. Right. Yeah. Now the Empress. Now this is interesting. Like, so med beds, maybe not. But other things, natural remedies, because this is the earth, and maybe she's talking about earth healing,
right?
Or even learning to heal ourselves. Or I think there are things coming, or ways or methods, but it may not be literally you're stepping into a bed and coming out feeling fantastic. I feel like this card indicates like there's natural healing modalities, but maybe not literally technically med beds.
Again, people are going to be disappointed, but you've been like, oh my God, so consistent on this. Every time people ask us that question, even in the viewer question show, it's one of the most popularly asked questions on the show. And it's always the same answer. Talking about the natural remedies, this is a Taoist way. There's a lot of different modalities that talk about this too, but just grounding and also sharing energies with the tree. Sit there for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and you'll see how absolutely amazing it'll be for you. These are the things I think that humans are going to remember, because all of this was lost to us. And then we went to the pharmaceutical way, take a pill and all that. So there's remedies like this. And there's also all the natural stuff like cannabis oil, which also is another meme that's going out today that supposedly Trump put out. Whether or not he did or not, again, not the question. But let's play that clip on the CBD oil. Let me see if I can go here first. There you go. Let's play this. So this was Captain Kyle. Okay, folks, check it out before he pulls it down. So I don't know, because I still don't see it on Trump's True Social. Maybe it was there. Maybe it was pulled down. But let's play this video here and see how that brings us into focus of what you just said here. The 9 and the 10, the ending here for the pharmaceutical companies.
Revolutionize senior health care. We've all heard about the major systems in our bodies, like the digestive, respiratory, nervous, and cardiovascular systems. But there's one essential system discovered in the 90s that you probably never heard of. It makes all of the other systems work smoothly with each other. Like a conductor, ensuring the different sections of an orchestra all play a beautiful symphony together. This system is called the endocannabinoid system. It has been acknowledged and studied by scientists extensively with support from the National Institutes of Health. As we age, the system weakens. As a result, the different systems in our body stop working together smoothly. That's one of the reasons older adults struggle with pain, inflammation, cognitive decline, and other ailments of aging, for which doctors often prescribe dangerous and addictive pharmaceuticals. They also recommend lifestyle remedies such as exercise, good diet, and stress management. And while all these improve the system, it is only fractionally and over a long time. But here's the game changer. The system can be restored faster using hemp-derived CBD. When the system is restored, pain subsides, sleep is improved, and stress is reduced. When the system is restored, disease progression can slow down, and years are added to your life, as well as years spent in good health. And 20% of seniors are already...
Okay, we can leave that there so you get the drift. Let's do a poll on this one. Same strategy as the first one, Janine? Are we being treated to a calm here to slowly bring us into, just like 2 weeks ago, you and I were kind of caught off guard when Trump said that the cause of autism was Tylenol. We all thought months ago when he said that he was going to announce this in October that it was going to go through the vaccine route. And now he went for Tylenol, the stuff that everybody takes every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we were surprised by that. But your card pull was like, yeah, they have to start there. And then they'll eventually get down the line of everything else that's horrible for you that we've been taking for granted. And maybe this is part of it here too. These comms now are suggesting alternatives to what perhaps was there before, as we are being dismantled in our belief system of what actually works and doesn't work, and what the trust we had in our pharmaceutical companies. So Janine, let's look at the CBD story here too.
So I'm going to say a personal thing about it.
Sure.
I like to put it in my coffee, CBD oil. It really does help the joints, and I sleep better. But the thing is, I wouldn't go to a government-run store or a store that sells things like that. Like you want to, well, you do go to a store to buy it, but you want to source it well.
Yeah.
So really good health food stores, and like Mark Atwood had it in his healing center. He had some really good CBD. You want to source it. You don't want to just go buy it from your pot store down the street kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can buy it online.
Yeah.
Like C60. There's a lot of junky stuff out there, and then there's the good stuff, right?
Yep. And is it legal to buy CBD oil here in Canada?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that regularly? Is that in every province? Do you know? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I definitely can easily get it in Alberta, and also in British Columbia. So
I remember, who was it last year or 2 years ago? I think it was Litecoin Lisa. She was trying to be an affiliate marketer for a CBD oil company, and then her PayPal got blocked because they didn't want her to sell it or be involved with it or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, guy, but it was guys in the live chat. But I think it was like when Lisa. It might be some other truther. They were having trouble getting that across. So, but that was a couple years ago. Maybe it's changed now.
Maybe it's changed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I literally had it in my suitcase on an international flight. So
nobody cared. Yeah.
I don't know.
Boy, I tell you, you and Penny Kelly, you just love having trouble at customs. These are funny. Lots of cannabis stores here in Castlegar, says Susan Milton. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so Janine, how did you phrase the question for that poll?
I'm asking the advertisement that was put out that appears to be on Trump's Truth Social. What was that all about? What are they doing there? Okay, so that looks like it's a building. So it looks like they really did put it out. As the other one, I would think maybe he got hijacked on that other one. This one looks like they really did put it out. And this card here says they're building a narrative. They're moving towards truth and integrity with health food, because it is really good. Like, it works great. Really helped my cat too when he had to do a long trip. Rufus, calmed him down. Like we could actually get him in the car and get him all the way. Like we had to drive him. He wouldn't have made it on a plane. He's so nervous. But anyway, it helps pets too, Okay, so here we've got the Queen of Cups in the middle. So a lot of people not like they're so busy. It could also help depression by the looks of this card in the middle. Okay, and I'm not a medical doctor or a shaman or
Yeah.
tell you what, I'm just reading the cards, but interesting. So I feel like a lot of people have an emotional response to it too that might resist. And I think their work, it's like the Trump and the Alliance team, they look like they're working on moving people in the direction of better health. And they're building it slowly, but they're working on it. They're like basically building a whole new way to look at things. And they're trying to help really, really damaged mentally people. Think about all those people that aren't listening to this. They're appealing to them that are lost because they realize on some level pharmaceutical isn't the way, right? It's literally killing their family and friends.
I'm looking up CBD oils in Ottawa here, and all I see are these big pot stores. I'm like, well, those are all government driven, so I wouldn't know where to start to get a good source of this. I can ask around, and maybe Ken Schwartz would know too, the C60 guy. I'll ask him.
To ask around for sure, because as soon as it's government sort of overseen, then you want to wonder what they're doing to it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So we've got this card here says they're moving in this direction and they're planning on way more of this stuff. So they're going to just keep putting out information and build a narrative for people that want to go in a new direction.
Right. All right. People are telling me go to a reservation. Okay. I can imagine there too. Like that. Do you get some locally made in the Haida Gwaii also? Do you know?
There was people doing that here. No, what I do is I go to health food stores or buy it online.
Okay. Interesting.
So when we're off the show, I'll share you. I can't even remember the last time, but this last time I got it from Mark Atwood's place there in Dublin, or no, it was in Boyle. Sorry. So that's a long way to go but places that dedicate to good, healthy substances,
Let us know in the live chat, guys. If you have a good source, just text the name of it in the live chat. People are asking. So, and again, guys, do your own research there. But going back to the cards, endocannabinoids help regulate crucial physiological processes, including mood, sleep, appetite, memory, immune system response, and pain perceptors. By interacting with receptors throughout the body and brain, they maintain homeostasis and ensure that the various bodily functions or systems and function correctly. So, that's fascinating, Janine. Again, more and more of this stuff coming out, and I think we're going to have to remember. When I was a kid, I had this book. I think it was called Grandma Remedies or something like that, but it was in French, right? We have to go back to all that stuff. Like that stuff worked, right? So that's fascinating. Okay, so again, another leading us into the same direction. So we'll take it as that. We'll take it as read. Okay, next up, again here for the Wacky Woo show, I have to go back to this ice wall thing. So on what's it called, Game of Thrones, they have this whole civilization that lives on the other side of the wall, and they're guarding the wall, right? The Night Watch, right? I saw this video again today, went through my Twitter, and like, let's go back and look at this, because again, the whole meme about the flat Earth thing doesn't make sense to me, although the planet the size it is, or we're being told is, doesn't make sense to me either. So there's somewhere in between. We have no idea where we actually live on, which, by the way, is going to bring me to Amelia Earhart here in just a moment. So we're going to get to that whole story here, that can of worms. So let's play this first little clip here, and then we're going to ask about what's past the ice wall in Antarctica. We're going to do a pass of the cards there, and then we'll get to Amelia Earhart.
So you're saying none of us are actually from Earth?
Not the Earth you think you know. The 7 continents we live on aren't our birthplace. They're a containment zone, a prison sealed off by the ice wall.
A prison for who?
For us, we're descendants of people who once lived beyond the wall, civilizations so advanced and defiant they couldn't be controlled. So long ago, someone made a decision: isolate them, populate these continents with carefully selected descendants, erase their memories, erase their origins.
You're saying we are not natives here?
Exactly. We were placed here. Richard Constantine orchestrated what's called the Great Placement. He found these untouched lands inside the ice wall and realized they could serve as the perfect cage. But how do you populate entire continents? Embryos. He harvested them from the ancestral lands, raised the first generation just enough to survive, then released them, let them believe they were inventing fire, tools, agriculture, when it was all designed.
So all of human history is staged?
Absolutely, and for my safety, it is just for entertainment purposes.
No.
Well, there's a lot in there to consider. The embryo part was interesting because you and I did a WU investigation on those orphan trains, remember? And we're like, where the hell do all these orphans come from all of a sudden? Who are they taking from, right? So it's curious. It's curious indeed. So your first reaction to that video, Janine, you were smiling throughout there.
Well, I mean, it is curious.
Yeah. Oh, did I lose you? You seem to be frozen, Janine. Guys, I think we might have lost Janine. Uh-oh. Janine, come back. Guys, can you still hear me okay? Give me a 5x5 if you hear me, or if it's me who just lost connection. What the hell's going on? Poor Janine and I are having trouble tonight. I'm looking for a 5x5 in the chat, guys. Can you guys still hear me? Let's see here. I think I might have lost the comm. Oh no, okay, 5x5. So you guys hear me? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get Janine on the other side here. Lost you. Can you reboot and come? Oh yeah, see, Janine's gone all the way. So we lost both feeds there. Shoot. Ah. All right, guys. What are we gonna do? We lost Janine. We'll give it a few minutes, guys. So we'll go back to the live chat here with you guys. On entend JC. Yeah, we hear you, JC. Yeah, I just lost Janine. Okay, so and I'm seeing that my text message to her is not read nor delivered. Also, she might have lost comms, both on the cellular and also on the internet here on the island. So we'll give that a minute or two. Guys, while we wait for Janine, why don't we give away some prizes? I'm supposed to give away a beautiful pyramid from Carla tonight. It's this one here, Aurora. Let's see if we can get to that tab for you guys. So there you go. Yeah, hopefully we can salvage the show here. We have quite a few more things to look at tonight, and we also have guests coming in at the end of the show. So Aurora is the pyramid we're giving away tonight. And a good question for you guys. Where are the dreams coming from? Janine was the first poll of the evening. We were trying to zoom in on everybody having weird dreams all of a sudden that didn't make sense. Where were they coming from? Want to populate that in the live chat? We'll see if we can pick a winner here. So where are dreams coming from? While I wait for that to populate, let's just go to Beyond Mystic here for just a second. You'll see on the schedule page here starting tomorrow or maybe this evening. Maybe Coco has a new one. No, it's not up there. So tomorrow morning, you'll see the new schedule here for the week. Quite a few new shows coming up this fall season here too. So stay tuned to beyondmystic.net /schedule. While you're there also, if you want to go to the top page here, a lot of people looking at silver this week. Again, crazy prices. It appears that we're in those $1 a day moves that Cliff High had predicted a long time ago. Oddly enough, it happened a week or two after we did that turning point or tipping point video. that Cliff High had put up in 2014 that was suddenly very prescient here a couple of weeks ago. So it appears that we're in that route now. So anyways, if you guys are looking for silver, go to beyondmystic.net/silver and just fill out the contact form there and let Andy know what you want, and he will ship that to you in short order. And again, if the WebBot holds, it was $1 a day moves, I think for a week or two was the prediction, and then we would go to $5 a day moves. And then I think it was 20, and then I was like, there was doubling, and then no price action at some point because something was broken. That was the sequence in that old WebBot data. Again, it appears that we're in that beginning of the $1 a day move here, in this last week, if you go look at some of the stats. So anyways, check it out, beyondmystic.net/silver, and hopefully you can get some silver in your own possession here before this goes crazy. So yeah, she didn't really say 3i Atlas though. Let me see if I can scroll up and find an answer. Okay, hold on. I just saw one. Hold on. Yeah, it's going pretty fast here. Can you guys see that? Yeah, okay, so hold on. Off-world. That's what she said. So Hagen Dragon, congratulations. You're the winner of this pyramid from Carla Ascension Organites. This one here. So if you go to beyondmystic.net, top of the page there, just send us an email and let us know you're the winner, and we'll get Carla to send this out to you. While we're there also, let's look at Floraline Farm.ca. These are the botanical handcrafted luxury artisan soaps made by Aline here. Really, really cool stuff. If you're trying to remove all the toxins from your body, we're talking about all of these alternatives right now at the healthcare. A big problem with our health, of course, is the accumulation of toxins in our body. So you want to do what you can using products that you trust to remove them from your life. So this is one example of how you can do that. We're going to give away one of those little bundles here tonight to you guys here at the audience as well. So for this bundle here, question of the evening, where did Cliff High go? If you guys can tell me. Oh, no. Why or where? No, it's going to be an open-ended question. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to say this to you guys. Well, first, yeah, so give me what date specifically was the beginning of the conference in Ottawa in March? Give me that date, and you're the winner for tonight, okay, for these amazing soaps. While we wait for that to populate in the live chat, I want to bring you to this post from Cliff High. The concept is simple. 3i Atlas is the product of consciousness and its non-human intelligence. Anyways, he describes here that he's going to be getting off of, is that the right one? I think it was 28. Hold on. He explains why he's leaving. No, it's not the right one. Hold on. There was another one. This one. There you go. Okay. So if you go to this Substack, Cliff High is explaining why he's deactivated his Twitter. So he hasn't been deleted, hasn't been yanked off. Just a couple projects he's working on right now. So you guys can go and read that. So he's fine. Everything's good. Just busy for now. So go check it out on his Substack and you can take it from him there. Okay, so let's go back to the live chat here. I'll go to the bottom of the chat and see if we can give away this pyramid for you guys here. And hopefully we'll get Janine back. So yeah, a lot of good answers there. So I'm just gonna pretend I'm looking away and stop the feed here. Who do I have? Jacinthe or Jack in the Box. Hey, there you go. Congratulations. You're the winner of this package of amazing soaps here from Alien. Again, just go to beyondmystic.net, send me an email there, and we'll get that to you out shortly. She says, I can't seem to get back in. It seems to be StreamYard for Janine. Okay. Holy shit. Try to reboot. Let me see. Reboot. Let me tell her. Reboot. Okay. In the meantime, I have some guests coming up for you guys too. So we'll do that next, and hopefully we can get Janine to come back on the show here. Did she get that? Oh my God. What a weird night tonight. We started the show talking about communications and we were having trouble understanding each other. And of course, now Janine's lost comms throughout the show. So it is what it is, guys. We're going to roll with the punches. So let me get back to, where am I going? Yes. Is that Janine coming back? Card view. I see a card view. Hold on. Is that Janine? Janine, are you back? Hold on. You're on mute. You're on mute on your side. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear you?
Okay. I can only get back with my phone.
Interesting.
So it'll have to be old school.
We'll be old school. All right. We'll do it old school. All right. There you go. Guys, please join us in welcoming to the stage the amazing Ashala and Crystal. Ashala and Crystal. Oh, let me change escape there. There you go.
You're like,
How are you guys doing?
really good. We were gonna come on in a couple more minutes, and then Crystal was like, "Oh, Janine's disappeared. We better jump on right away."
Good for you.
Things couldn't get her back.
I was struggling here to read the screen, to give away gifts, and type to Janine at the same time. Reboot. Come back. Anyways. Thank you for being on, guys, tonight. And guys, again, I apologize for all the weird stuff happening on the show here tonight. It is what it is. Thank you for your patience if you're watching the show live tonight. Yes, the reason I'm inviting Ashala and Crystal tonight, they have a brand new show coming up next week, and we want to talk about that. So let me share the poster with you guys. It's the Down the Rabbit Hole with Ashala and Crystal. The inaugural show will be on October 2nd at 5 p.m. Eastern. Ashala and Crystal, first of all, congratulations. This is going to be really, really cool. Explain to the audience members why this week, what the theme is of this show, and where you guys want to bring this show, and why you think the audience should come and watch you. This is going to be so exciting. Go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you, Jean-Claude. So the idea for this show came from literally these types of conversations that Crystal and I get into invariably, often when one of us has to go to work or something to do, and we end up in our kitchen down the rabbit hole, and those conversations can go on and on. But we basically are deep diving into things. And, you know, I mean, rabbit holes are interesting, right? Because usually what sends us into a rabbit hole is we're trying to hurry up and get an answer. We want to, like, I want the truth. I want to know what the heck is going on. Let's go find that truth. Let's go down the rabbit hole and find the answer. But just like, you know, like, almost like an Alice in Wonderland effect. Once you get down the rabbit hole, time seems to go real slow, and all of a sudden you are like looking at a lot of things you didn't anticipate on looking into.
Right.
And it often takes you, like, we start off, like, I like the black and white imagery because it usually starts off like, I want this answer, I'm going in for this answer. And when you get down the rabbit hole, you end up learning more that is actually starting to take you in a wider lens, if that makes sense. You know, right. It's
neither black and it's neither white. It's all variations in between, and the more rabbit holes.
Exactly. It's where the magic happens, because you think you're looking for one answer, but you get all this other information. And this is just kind of how we roll. This is a lot of how we look for information. We often start, you know, have these deep conversations, and as it unfolds, it's almost like a magical thing is happening. Yeah. And of course, with our audience, it's amazing because they're all in the comments section, and they bring so much incredible insight and wisdom. So we want to come in every week with a topic. We're going to start the dive, the deep dive down the rabbit hole. And we'll see where we get to and bring the audience into the conversation, their perspectives and so on. Have a look at that. We're also open to following other people, like audience members' questions down a rabbit hole, and doing cards on them and discussing them, and really almost saying, like, we want to open up and get beyond this black and white and really look at all sides of the story.
Do you know why I'm so excited? Do you know why I'm so excited about that? Because when I started doing the news shows and more the wacky woos and like the deep woo stuff, I got a lot of the audience members very frustrated, because I would have one guest that would come with one perspective and they say this, and then I would have another guest that would come and say this, and people say, JC, make up your mind. Is it this or is it that? And I was like, well, it's kind of both. And it's kind of not both. It's for you to hold all of these different points of view in your mind until it settles and you have that inner knowing, right? So I really love that you're going at it in this way. I think it's going to be fabulous. Crystal, why are you excited about this new show?
Well, it's a beautiful opportunity for people to join us in experiencing some of the dynamics that Mom and I have together that we've been cultivating for my whole life. And there's a lot of, we each have our unique perspectives and skills that we bring into these conversations. And quite often we're like, man, we should have recorded that. That was just such a crazy deep dive, you know? And so we've been sort of wanting and dreaming this into reality for a while. And now just having this platform to launch into and this incredible community to share in this conversation with us. And a lot of what brings us beyond the black and white thinking or black and white, you know, quite often Mom is the one that's coming in with a lot of like, oh, look what I found. We got to figure this out. And then I come in and I start asking a lot of curious questions and, you know, ooh, what about that? And then we get into, I think, a lot of channeling mode together. And that's kind of fun for people to just join us on those conversations and get a chance to just be sort of interactive with us. So
I
that's
can't
always
wait to
exciting
listen.
for me.
I can't wait to listen to it. And judging by the comments, a lot of people are looking forward to that show. Let me ask you too. So you're going to be using, of course, your intuition, some of the channeling, some of the tarot. Will you also be doing dowsing with that too periodically, Ashella? So all of the above. Okay.
All of the above. Anything that jumps in.
Yeah.
And you know, Crystal and I think some people have watched us over on my YouTube channel. And when we get going, we are funny.
Very good. Sorry about the echo there. I think I have Janine on the internet. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we have Janine back too.
She's back. Yeah, we get going, and it's pretty hilarious. Like we've got that mother-daughter dynamic, and we're both fire moons. So we just get really sparky and playful, and we banter a lot. In fact, we had thought we were going to call the show Beyond Banter.
Cool too.
It's cool too. So it's definitely not dull once we get going along. It's pretty chatty and humorous.
And so there's no CBD or glasses of wines involved here, because that could be fun.
Almost like we don't need it. I think we don't need it.
We usually have. I mean, I was saying that the other morning. Like maybe we should bring our cups of tea, or you know, there's usually some sort of because it usually happens in the morning with us when we probably don't.
Those two are teetotalers. Trust me.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Janine, let me ask you to pull some cards here. I know you don't have the camera view there, but what does the universe want Ashella and Crystal to know about this show? Any direction? Any insights? We talked about new communications coming in earlier about these dreams that are coming up and the fact that humanity is on the verge of discovering a new way to communicate with each other, similar to what the Rupert Sheldrake and Terence McKenna were talking about in the trialogue conversation. I thought that was fascinating. So, Janine, old school way here, pick up the cards. What does universe need us to know about this new show?
That was the first card down, Ace of Pentacles. So I think it's a big yes to the show. Also that it's going to be a great gift to the Beyond Mystic audiences. Okay, and this card here representing the girls themselves, the two amazing high priestesses here, and that is the Page of Wands. So it's going to really take them in directions. I feel like they don't even realize they're going to go. Like I feel like you really literally taken a whole bunch of viewers down the rabbit hole together, and it's going to be really interesting where it comes out. So here's the past that led to it. So it was a channeled idea. I feel like it was just you manifested the idea by just being open to your own intuitive knowings. And then here, this is in the middle. So it could go so many different directions. We've got that Like you better have a time frame set on how long you're going to go, because it could get a little like
3 hours later.
7-hour marathon.
yeah, and some of the things you'll discover could be great awakening moments even. So I feel like everyone will be surprised at what you end up finding down that rabbit hole, including yourselves.
Wow.
Right? It's not just the audience. Yeah, so very exciting. And you're getting a lot of encouragement. And also I feel like there could be a lot of humor and fun.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have a winner. Thank you, Janine. That's beautiful. Man, did you guys catch the beginning of the show where we talked about the communication stuff coming in and the weird dreams? Let me ask you, are you having weird dreams? Most of the audience members tonight, when we polled at the beginning of the show, they're having out of context dreams or dreams that don't make sense to them. And I thought that was weird because there are researchers right now who are opining that perhaps 3i Atlas is having an effect on humanity, whether it's directing that effect or it's just having that effect because we're aware of it and we're being attuned to this new energy coming in, and it's apparently changing or perhaps changing our sleep patterns as well as our dreams. And so have you guys felt any of that in the last little while? And if so, what were the symptoms like?
You go first.
That's because you got a lot to say.
No, actually, I don't.
No. I honestly am finding a lot with my dreams recently that they're just super frustrating. Like I tend to be frustrated in almost every single one of them, which is to me such a gift because I'm clearly working through a lot of deeper subconscious shadowy stuff that's not going to serve me going forward. So it's like, man, maybe I don't have time to do that in the day to day. So it's taking care of me at night, but very challenging.
So frustrating dreams, but they're in context of things that you can associate with either your current life or maybe past life stuff. Would that be accurate? Or is it in a way kind of out of left field and also at the same time frustrating to like, I don't understand what's going on here?
Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag.
Okay.
You know, some of those ones where you wake up and go, really? Like, where in the world did that come from?
Right.
You know,
right.
For sure. And I quite often will just have very earth-based dreams. I mean, my mom and sister, they get up and they tell me all of their dreams, and I'm like, what? That's amazing. You know, I'm like, I just had an argument and smacked someone on across the face or something. Sorry. And she's all like, yeah, I met this like Egyptian pharaoh, and I'm like, oh man, that sounds way cooler than me.
I often tell my dreams to Coco sometimes because we chat like sometimes at 6:30 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. and she says, why isn't John Jay-Z? Here's your schedule for the day. Anyways, I tell her my crazy dreams and she says, shit, your dreams are so crazy. For me, it's just like I'm walking down the aisle at the supermarket and I'm choosing Cheerios for my daughter. That's my dream. Like, you know what I mean?
Coco's my girl, man. I don't know. We must just want to keep it simple sometimes.
Yeah. Ashala, for you, the dreams, what are they like? Have you seen a change?
I would say that I have had some very, very extraordinary dreams in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Remember, there was about a week ago that I was saying there was about 5 nights in a row where I had those kind of epic dreams. I call them epic, epic dreams, literally, where there's so much information and it feels like almost like some kind of like a visitation of sorts, like I was shown something, like I was being taught something, really almost graduating in some way into learning deeper awareness or something like that. They felt like that. I had actually 3 or 4 nights in a row about, I guess it's about a week or 10 days ago now. And every one of them were extraordinary, extraordinary dreams. So yeah.
Fascinating. Okay. Again, you missed the beginning of the show. We were talking about the Schumann resonance again, going off the scale, and it's been happening quite a bit lately. And Janine pulled that this energy is coming from off-world. Something is perturbing up from off-world. We didn't necessarily think it was through Atlas, but still, it could still be, or there could be an echo of it. And it's just a fascinating thing to look at, because on one hand, we are being bombarded like 24/7 with crazy news, crazy AI stories, fake stories, the saber rattlings to war, all that stuff. And at the same time, we seem to be bombarded by space, or what Cliff calls these space goat farts, or weird energies from space. So clearly crazy times. As we're ending the hour mark, let me ask you, I'll start with you, Ashala and Crystal, advice here on maybe dealing with all those energies. I talked about earlier going outside and hugging a tree and maybe sitting in front of it and doing the Taoist practice of doing the loop breathing with it. What do you guys do right now to kind of get your center back with all of these crazy energies? You first, Ashala.
Well, I have so many different techniques that I've drawn on over the years. And, you know, Crystal and I have reflected on the fact that being such a sensitive empath and really open channel my whole life, I tend to be very affected by everything. And so I've had to develop really, really rigorous practices, like especially around what I eat, how I sleep, you know, how much I sleep, just not being exposed to certain things like disturbing media, especially, you know, later in the day and all that kind of stuff. So interestingly, I got for the forecast this week that those kind of habits and practices were going to be really, really important over this next little while. And for me, it's just like I have to kind of clear the deck of all the other stuff and say, you know, limit everything that I know throws me out of gear. Yeah. And really focus on, you know, almost like a lot of sort of denying myself things and like really simple living, basically. So that's what helps me. And obviously nature and my regular practices of walking and breathing and meditating and doing yoga and so on. But, you know, I'm like everybody else. I get out of habits, like I have good intentions and then I fall off the wagon. No, I'm definitely on the wagon right now.
Can I, since I have you guys here too, can I ask you about orgasms? Because again, in the Taoist techniques, there's this, there's these different breathing techniques to bring your body back into equilibrium. And they're explaining how there's different modalities. This is one example. There's the figure 8, 1, 2. There's one you can do with a couple as well. But what they usually say is your bigger source of energy is your orgasm, to really recalibrate all of your atoms at that level back in alignment. Is that something people can look at right now as well? Is that something that you would recommend? Because again, it's not external. You don't have to go outside and hug a tree. We have everything we need from within, and most of us don't think to go there and use it that way. Although people use it for stress relief, we do it to make love, we do it to have babies, but we don't necessarily think of the healing aspects or the sexual healing aspects of, in this particular case, the Tao technologies and modalities. What do you guys think about that? Let me ask you, Crystal.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've actually been doing quite a deep dive into that right now. I've been reading the Magdalene manuscripts and doing a lot of work with my light energy and some sacred sexuality stuff. And it's pretty energizing. It's pretty kind of altering. And so I could really see that devoting ourselves to, you know, rather than distracting ourselves away in a lot of the ways that we do, we're using the orgasm and lovemaking as a distraction or just a stress relief. There is actually, I absolutely feel ways to channel that energy, even in our own solo practices, to really reignite ourselves and to be able to step into our greatest creativity, our greatest passion, and self-optimization. So
You know,
I
that's
feel
interesting.
interesting.
It's interesting you mentioned the Magdalene manuscript. I had the book here at the bottom of that pile, but when I read that a couple of years ago, I thought there was a disconnect between the time and the reference made in some of the practices in the book compared to where humanity is at today. Similar to if you took a Reiki class 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and you're a practitioner 20 or 30 years later, you've transcended much of that Reiki based knowledge. You still have your base symbols, you have your base practice on how to use it, but you've incorporated so many more things of your own, and the higher your consciousness or awareness of your body and your key helps you become a better practitioner. And in the Magdalene manuscript, I thought there was something missing there too. And again, they kind of touch on it on this book here, The Healing Love Through the Tao. This one here is how to cultivate the sexual energy for healing. But you also have the male version of that, and you guys can go look him up, Montauk Chia, here on Amazon.
Got it all here. Oh, she's got it all.
We're on the same page.
The female tantric orgasm too is in on my shelf there.
That's a good one too.
I have my bookshelf right beside me here, so I can just reach
For this
over it.
reason. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
So,
go ahead, Crystal. You were lifting your hand. Go ahead.
No. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Mom, do you want something to say about all that?
Well, I mean,
Since you have all the books on your shelf.
I have all the books on my shelf, and I've been, this has been a topic that I've been very, very deeply interested in for my whole life, really. I mean, certainly my whole adult life. So, it's interesting because I feel like there is obviously all the aspects that you mentioned, Jean-Claude, the stress relief and the, having some sort of communion that is not our mundane life. I get that. However, there's a lot of different spectrums of what that experience can do for us or undo for us. And I feel like there's also a lot to be said of like cultivating and recycling that energy and not taking it into what we would classically call orgasm. So, and interesting, you had that image of the tree, and there is a very powerful ecstatic energy that we can commune with the natural world. And sometimes the cultivation of our sexual energy gives us a deeper, more potent connection, especially if we practice that, intentionally. So I don't see it as being again, down the rabbit hole, right? It's not a black and white thing to me. It's more nuanced than that.
Well, you just mentioned something to me, man. We can do a whole show on this. You've got me interested now, because the thing about the orgasm, you just said, well, you don't have to let it go in a certain direction, and you need to cultivate it upwards. Well, that is part of the Taoist and tantric practices, to the extent where you can have the orgasm without the ejaculation or without the release, and also recycling that energy up to your pineal gland. I think that's what you were referring to. That's one thing. But what the Taoists are saying, and with the tree thing too, is you can do this with the tree too. And no, I'm not asking you to have sex with the tree, but use the energy field of that tree to strengthen that core even higher to your higher self while you're at orgasm. This is when your channel to your higher self is the strongest. And the longest you stay in that field, the more what would it say? Secure that field becomes, so that you cannot be penetrated, should I say, by other sources. As Janine was just mentioning at the beginning of the show, we're being bombarded by off-world energies right now that are competing with our connection to our higher self. And that makes us kind of wobbly and wondering what the hell is going on and making us confused right now. So there's a lot to that, man. I hope you guys look at that in your new show, Down the Rabbit Hole. That's going to be very exciting. Again, guys, if you're interested in that, October 2nd at 5 p.m. Eastern is going to be the brand new show. Janine, as we finish the show here tonight, your advice on how to navigate these crazy times, get back to center with all of these crazy energies. What do you say, Janine?
Man, I thought you were going to ask about my orgasmic devices. I was really hoping you wouldn't do that.
I can if you want me to.
No.
No,
We're
no,
good.
no.
We're good. So, navigating the crazy times. Can I pull a few cards?
Sure, let's do it the old school way. Yeah. Hold on. Let me bring you up so people can see your cards. There you go. All
And
right.
by the way, I'm a huge tree, like absolute communer of, I hang
Tree
out
hugger.
with trees all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where I am, there's a whole lot of them and they all speak to each other. And when I need something, I go to the trees and put the message out and I know it gets to wherever it needs to go. Like
Yeah.
trees communicate across the whole earth. So yeah, trees are like really good friends of mine. I'll tell you that.
Dude, we forgot to talk about Amelia Earhart and how that. Oh, okay, that's the disruption we had when
Yeah.
you lost connection.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, I will tomorrow night on the Beyond the News. We'll get into the Amelia Earhart story and how this connects to the ice wall and all that stuff. So apologies for the communication mishap here when we lost comms with Janine earlier. All right, Janine, what's the advice?
Maybe be sure ahead of time on what you're willing to receive and not willing.
Mhm.
Okay, so have good boundaries. Okay, have good boundaries. And maybe eat when you're like, be conscious enough, pay attention and sift everything you're getting as communication, including dreams, through your intuitive knowing to know for sure it's for you or something you need to hear. Or is it just space noise or what is it? Like, is it just fear or what are you receiving? Like have the wherewithal, pay attention and be conscious enough to actually hear first, filter, use your filters. And then if it needs attention, great. Like when I was being woken up the last 2 nights, I kept feeling like I had to go and look up in the sky, but it did seem to be a bit of a time waster because I didn't really see anything fantastic out there. I'm sure there's going to be, and there probably things I wasn't seeing, but like sleep might have been more important, to be honest. So I might want to try making sure, okay, does this feel urgent and important? Okay, no, I'm just getting time wasting. Okay, I'm going back to sleep. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Very good advice. Thank you. Appreciate that, Janine. Thank you both, of course, Crystal and Ashala. Look forward to your show. And guys, quite a few comments in there saying, hey, Ashala's readings are amazing. Crystal's readings are amazing. Yes, if you haven't had a reading with...
Cuối của bóng chùy thì ngây người. Đại tiên nào? Giải ta gì? Ta xem chừng đại nhân đã trúng ta rồi. Tìm biến. Đại bóng chùy còn chưa nói dứt câu thì mông đã bị Ngũ Hân Siêu đá cho một cái. Gã chớp đôi mắt bé như hạt đỗ của mình, nhìn Ngũ Hân Siêu như chưa từng có chuyện gì xảy ra, rồi đi mất. Bất giác giơ tay lên vò đầu bứt tai. Thế Tử tuy còn ít tuổi nhưng đã thay cha gánh vác chính sự, nắm đại quyền trong tay, có được khối tài sản khổng lồ. Nhưng Chu Nhượng Hồ lại cẩn thận tu thân, không hàm nữ sắc, đoan trang ngay thẳng, gấp quá nhiều lần những địa chủ thiếu gia trong nhà có mấy mẫu ruộng. Trong con mắt của các quan viên thì Thế Tử có đúng là một bậc hiền tài. Chính vì cái danh hiền tài đó đã càng ngày càng trói chặt lấy sự tự do của gã. Chu Nhượng Hồ lại càng không dám tìm kiếm gần gũi phụ nữ. Tuổi càng lớn thì dục vọng lại càng mãnh liệt hơn. Thông thường các vị thiếu niên công tử nếu chưa tìm được đối tượng để lấy làm vợ thì đều trước tin nạp thiếp rồi sau đó mới cưới chính thất. Nhưng Thế Tử vì muốn giữ lấy cái danh tiếng hiền tài cho nên không dám làm như vậy. Một tiểu vương gia đã hơn 20 tuổi mà bên cạnh không có nổi một người phụ nữ. Lúc này lại có một người em họ nhan sắc tuyệt trần đến nhà mình ở. Hai người bọn họ ngày tháng gần gũi rồi nảy sinh thứ tình cảm loạn luân. Ngày Thế Tử kế vị chắc hẳn Mộng Ly cô nương phát hiện ra bản thân mình đã có thai, lo sợ đến nói cho anh họ được biết, hoặc có thể biết rõ ngày hôm đó Chu Nhượng Hồ kế vị, muốn thừa cơ lật ngửa bài, ép gã phải có câu trả lời cho mình. Những tình tiết mà dân năng nhìn thấy trong hoa viên, Mộng Ly cô nương đau khổ cầu xin, còn Thế Tử điện hạ thì lạnh lùng lắc đầu, sau đó phủi tay quay đi. Chỉ cũng là từ đây mà ra. Chu Nhượng Hồ có lẽ là cảm thấy bất an, hoặc là sau khi về hậu cung thăm hỏi mẫu phi và các vị thổ ti phu nhân thì lại gặp Chu Mộng Ly. Hai người lại xảy ra tranh chấp. Vậy nên Chu Nhượng Hồ mới đột nhiên nảy ra ý định giết người, đồng thời thừa cơ giá tội cho người em trai, người đang có uy tín và sức ảnh hưởng mạnh mẽ trong nhân gian và các bộ tộc thổ ti. Không đúng. Nếu như là nhất thời mới có ý định giết người thì miếng ngọc bội đó sao có thể xuất hiện tại hiện trường được? Rõ ràng là Chu Nhượng Hồ không yên tâm, lên kế hoạch một mũi tên bắn trúng 2 con chim từ trước rồi mới lẻn vào phòng của Chu Nhượng Cận, đánh cắp đi miếng ngọc bội và quay lại hậu cung tìm cơ hội để ra tay. Nếu như tử thi phát hiện muộn ra một chút thì Chu Nhượng Hồ đã trở thành thục vương rồi. Nhưng cho dù là sớm bị phát hiện ra tử thi thì cũng không sao. Cái đinh trong mắt đã được nhổ đi rồi thì việc đăng vị chỉ là muộn một chút mà thôi. Vương vị sẽ đi đâu được cơ chứ, có gì mà phải vội vàng. Trong đầu Dương Lăng tựa như đang diễn ra một bộ phim vậy. Toàn bộ tình tiết nghĩ đến được trong vụ án này đều được diễn tả lại trong đầu một lượt. Càng lúc càng khẳng định chính Thế tử Điện Hạ là người đã ra tay sát hại nạn nhân. Hiện tại cái duy nhất còn thiếu chính là bằng chứng buộc tội y. Chỉ dựa vào những gì mà bản thân mình và Dương Thần đã nhìn thấy thì chỉ có thể truyền mối nghi ngờ sang cho Chu Nhượng Hồ mà thôi, chứ tuyệt đối không phải là bằng chứng để có thể bắt được y. Chứng cứ. Dương Lăng nghĩ tới đây bèn giật mình một cái. Trên bàn là mấy cuốn sổ ghi chép lại khẩu cung của những người có liên quan từ chỗ của án sát ti. Giờ xem ra cũng chẳng nhất thiết phải nghiên cứu chúng nữa làm gì. Án sát ti cũng chẳng tìm được bằng chứng gì từ những lời khai đó. Bằng chứng thực sự đang nằm trong những món đồ vật mà Dương Lăng thu thập được ngày hôm nay. Ánh mắt của Dương Lăng hướng nhìn về phía cái hộp đựng thư Lạc Thiện Tập và cuốn sổ có nét chữ thanh tú kia. Trầm ngâm một lúc, Dương Lăng cầm cuốn Lạc Thiện Tập lên. Cảnh quan trọng cứ để về phía sau. Trước hết hãy xem Chu Nhượng Cận có điểm gì khả nghi không. Dương Lăng mở chiếc hộp thư ra. Trước tiên là đọc những bức thư bạn bè gửi tới. Ngay cả đến bức thư của Tổng trưởng Bảo Ninh, Dương Lăng cũng chăm chú đọc lại một lần nữa. Không phát hiện ra bất cứ điểm bất thường nào. Sau đó hắn hít một hơi thật sâu, cầm lấy những lá thư được thắt sợi dây tơ. Chủ yếu nội dung là những lời đường mật của đôi tình nhân nhằm biểu đạt nỗi nhớ nhung của mình với đối phương. Các bức thư đều rất hạn chế đề cập đến nơi ở, hoàn cảnh sống, tình hình gia đình. Đọc xong 3 bức thư, cuối cùng mới chỉ nhìn thấy 2 chữ Cụ Lạp. Xem lại những nội dung ngữ khí trong bức thư thì Dương Lăng khẽ mỉm cười. Đây là thư của vị Thác Bạt cô nương đó viết cho Chu Nhượng Cận. Quả nhiên là Thác Bạt cô nương có tình ý sâu đậm với Chu Nhượng Cận. Thật không thể ngờ được rằng một cô nương cao ngạo lạnh lùng như vậy lại có thể viết được những lời lẽ ngọt ngào, dịu dàng, chan chứa yêu thương đậm thắm đến như vậy. Nói đến mối chân tình sâu đậm thì có khi còn hơn cả Liên Nhi của ta. Chu Mộng Ly cũng sống ở khu Tiểu Kim Xuyên, nhưng nàng là người Hán, không có thói quen dùng từ tạm Cụ Lạp để miêu tả nơi đó. Cho dù là viết thành Tạp Cốc An Phủ Ti thì cũng nên sử dụng từ đã dịch sang tiếng Hán là Tiểu Kim Xuyên mới đúng. Dương Lăng vội vàng đọc mấy bức thư tiếp theo. Căn cứ theo những tình hình miêu tả trong bức thư thì càng khẳng định được rằng đó chính là Thác Bạt Yên Nhiên, vì có đề cập đến châu ngựa, thảo nguyên cưỡi ngựa. Hiển nhiên đây không thể là những tưởng tượng của một Chu nhị tiểu thư chưa từng được bước chân ra khỏi nhà, chỉ quanh quẩn ở trong thâm cung buồn bực. Những dòng nhật ký của Chu Mộng Ly quả thật rất hỗn loạn, có tình ý, cũng có những ngày u ám, cũng có những ngày ý thơ mà hoa rơi gió thổi là đã có thể khiến cho bản thân mình bị thương tổn. Cảm giác đây là một nhân vật rất giống với Lâm Đại Ngọc, có một trái tim thủy tinh, mong manh, dễ vỡ. Dương Lăng nhẫn nại đọc hết những bức thư đó, thi thoảng phải khống chế bản thân để không phun ngụm trà ra hoặc đốt luôn bức thư đó đi. Kết quả là danh tính thực sự của tên dâm phu đó đang dần hiện rõ ra, khiến cho hắn bị kích động, phải trấn tĩnh kiềm chế, nhẫn nại đọc từng chữ. Cuốn sổ tuy nhỏ nhưng chữ viết trên đó lại dày đặc. Những nét chữ này cũng phản ánh lên được phần nào tính cách của Chu Mộng Ly, cẩn thận, tỉ mỉ. Nhưng cũng chính những cô gái như vậy lại thường làm ra những chuyện mà những nữ nhi thông thường không dám nghĩ tới và động tới. Có quá nhiều thứ tạp nham, thi thoảng cô thấy nhắc đến người đàn ông đó nhưng cũng chỉ là dùng một chữ chàng ấy để mà thay thế nhân xưng mà thôi. Hoàn toàn không có một chữ nào nhắc đến thân phận, địa vị, danh tính của người đó. Dương Lăng lật qua lật lại, đột nhiên trong lòng chột dạ một cái. Thế tử đã từng bị bắt làm con tin hơn 1 tháng trời. Nếu như quả đúng Thế tử là người tình trong mộng cuộc Mộng Như cô nương, thì không thể nào đối với một cô gái đến trước lá rơi còn thấy buồn như vậy, mà lại không có cảm thán ghi chép gì lại. Dương Lăng ngay lập tức lật dở về phía sau thì đã tìm được ra nội dung mà hắn muốn đọc. Dương Lăng đột nhiên nhìn thấy 3 chữ Đô trưởng ban, bèn lập tức dừng tay lại, đọc ngấu nghiến từng dòng. Tuy vị cô nương này vẫn không hề nhắc đến danh tính của người tình, nhưng có hàm ý nhắc đến nạn loạn Đô trưởng ban. Nhân tình đang bị rơi vào trong tay lũ giặc. Từng dòng chữ là tâm tư, tâm tình sâu đậm, sự lo lắng không yên của một thiếu nữ với tình lang của mình. Từng câu từng chữ đau thương, và vô tình trong đó có một câu nhắc đến là mình đã có thai, nhưng lại chỉ nhắc đến qua quýt. Tiếp theo đó lời văn trở nên vui vẻ rõ rệt, hoặc tại vì quá vui vẻ cho nên những dòng sau đó có rõ ràng nhắc đến hai tin chàng đã được cứu ra ngoài. Nhưng mãi đến hôm nay, khi nhìn thấy chàng đã về đến cung thì ta mới thực sự yên lòng. Lúc đó quả thật ta chỉ muốn nhào đến ôm lấy chàng, nhưng đứng trước mặt nương nương, nàng còn chẳng dám nhìn ta lấy một cái. Ta biết trong lòng chàng nhất định cũng đang nhớ ta. Dương Lăng đọc đến đây thì thấy trong lòng thật buồn bã, ngừng một lúc rồi mới tiếp tục đọc đoạn tiếp theo. Tiếp sau đó chỉ có một vài câu thôi. Ngoài trừ những thơ từ ca phú tự sáng tác mang nhiều sự vui vẻ, thì chỉ có mấy dòng ít ỏi có nhắc đến chuyện hôm nay chàng đến tìm ta, hoặc ta đã nhìn thấy chàng, hoặc hai người đã cùng nhau ân ái ra sao. Tất nhiên cũng đều chỉ là nói vắn tắt sơ lược mà thôi. Dương Lăng đọc xong những bức thư đó thì đột nhiên như nghĩ ra chuyện gì đó, vội vàng lật xem các điều khoản quan pháp, sau đó nhắm mắt lại suy nghĩ một hồi lâu, rồi đột nhiên vung tay áo đứng dậy, bước tới trước cửa. Dương Lăng ra lệnh: Hán Siêu, cùng ta đi tới cầu Vương Phủ. Dương Lăng sờ đến khẩu súng rất là thắt lưng, rồi kiểm tra một lần nữa xem đã đủ đạn chưa, sau đó chuyển chỗ để, tìm một nơi mình có thể dễ dàng lấy nhất, rồi lấy y phục che đi, tiếp đó giải bước đi xuống bậc. Trong lòng Dương Lăng rốt ruột nên không ngồi kiệu nữa mà cho người bao ngựa đến. Vừa bước ra khỏi cửa lớn thì nhìn thấy đám thị vệ đang đứng chặn ở đó. Phía trước mặt có 3 người đang đứng, một nam một nữ và một đứa bé, chắc hẳn là một gia đình nhỏ. Người đàn ông đó mặc bộ quan phục của quan binh viện sở, xem ra chức bậc cũng không thấp. Dương Lăng thắng dây cương ngựa và nói: Ai ở đó ồn nào vậy? Vài tên thị vệ quay đầu lại nhìn.